The Margay, it's a small, quite elusive little cat, and it's classed actually as near threatened by the IUCN. Trying to actually find, photograph or film such as a small little elusive cat in terrain such as this is quite difficult, as you can see. You search around looking for a good position for the cameras, for the camera traps. When we do find a good location, often we'll just get just a few seconds of the Margay before it just disappears. Given that they're quite elusive, the Margay, we decided to start a long-term project 2 years ago on Cockabola Nature Reserve by putting camera traps on the ground. We also decided to put a joint array simultaneously in the trees arboreally to see if we could capture some of the activity and what they're doing up there. So the cameras we have out there are starting to bring back images. Sometimes it's sequences of images. Sometimes we can get further data from these still images, such as the sex of a cat, for example, if it's in the right angle. Other times we start to develop more of a picture of individuals. Each Margay has its individual spot pattern, coat pattern, and if we get the right sides and the right image, we can actually start zooming in and we can identify individuals. And over time, obviously, we're starting to see these individuals more and more in different locations on the reserve. We also get a temporal idea of how long they're living on the reserve and how long they've been there for. So this particular cat, it's a bit dry, isn't it? M01-2019. It indicates it's a male. It's male number 1, and it was identified first in 2019. If you actually look at the top image, the sort of the beige coloured circle oval, you can see there's a sort of a mushroom pattern in the centre with a dot underneath, and you can actually see that bottom left. You can see it's slightly elongated because, of course, as the cat moves, it naturally, the actual pattern compresses or extends, so sometimes it's quite difficult. The bottom right, you can see it, but only just. Of course, the other thing is the images are not always crisp, clean side on images. So are the patterns actually that different on each individual Margay? The answer to that is definitely they are. I mean, this is 3 individuals that are on the reserve that we've identified, and you can see yourself that their patterns are very different if you study them. The question is, could you actually identify one of these cats from a moving image? Let's try, shall we? So I mean, there's 3 cats here on the screen. See if you can look at the ID, the pattern here, and then see if you can ID them from the following clip. So you need to work out, is it option A, option B, or is it option C? Okay, so it's not that easy really on a live moving video, but of course with all video and cameras and thermals, they've got video recording capabilities. So what we can do is we can rewind it and pause it, and we can zoom in. Okay, that's a little unfair because the card originally that you saw was actually the right side of the cat's. What you really need is both sides of the cat. Okay, I think we can all agree that it's definitely M01-2019. First identified in 2019 on the reserve, still active and filmed on the 14th of April 2023. So from these elevated platforms, we've been able to actually observe behavioural characteristics of the Margay through thermals. This was an Margay captured from one of the sites. I know there's something there, you can see the glow, but it's only after a few seconds that you realise it's a Margay. It's quite hard to describe how excited you can be to actually realise that what you're actually seeing could be, and then turns out to be, a Margay in real life at night in the middle of the rainforest, and you're watching it without actually disturbing it. You're watching its behaviour. You should be able to recognise the cat. You've seen him before. So what you're seeing here is, I'm going to take you through this, and what we're going to see is the Margay is now walking. He's walking away from us, but now he leaps. You'll see him leap into the trees there, and he's starting to climb up the trees. You can follow him, and he's leaping from tree to tree. At this point, he's about 9 meters, 30 feet up. So he leaps there, and now he leaps to the right. There he goes again. Now he makes his way to the ground. I actually lose him here. He starts moving, going around on the floor towards me, and does quite an interesting little scrape. It's quite difficult to see, but when you're watching through the optics, it's better. He stops here, scrapes with his hind paws. Of course, that was a Margay on quite far away through, in bad conditions for thermals. This is a Margay a little bit closer, who decided to come and check out Lucy, who is on one of the platforms. Suddenly realised that she was actually there, and decided just to sit at the bottom of the tree and try and work out what Lucy was doing. So while we're looking down at the Margay, it's looking back up at us, but the light you're seeing here that it looks like it's illuminated with, it's not visible, so it's effectively, we're looking in the dark at the cat through night vision. Again, I'm convinced that if we were looking through white light, it wouldn't be here. It would run. But it seems totally unfazed. It has a little yawn, and it has a strange habit of actually winking. We can see it's quite relaxed underneath, just watching, just trying to work out what on earth this thing is in a tree right above it. But like any cat, it gets bored very quickly and just decides to wander off. But keeps checking, keeps looking behind as it starts to wander off. One last check. And it's gone. As it disappears, I think you want to get it back in your mind. You want to picture what you saw, and if you actually see this stunningly beautiful cat in the wild, it will burn an impression into your mind. And for me, this image of it looking back up is a haunting image.